Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode of All About You. In today's video, I am going to showcase the pan deck that I've been dominating locals with. Won 2 locals so far, and we're gonna probably try to hit a 3rd. So it's been really good. It's an updated version of what I was playing before. So if you guys are familiar with my previous pan deck, which I know a lot of you liked it, this one is an updated list. So without further ado, let's begin. We have our pan leader. As you guys all know, she's amazing, amazing, amazing. So once per turn, during either turn, whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn, when you play a battle card, that battle card gains 5k. If that battle card's power goes up to 20k, you draw a card. Of course, for Awaken, when you have 4 or less life, you restand up to 2 of your energy, which is very good for this leader. Now, Pan Ready to Fight, she's just amazing. She's able just to pick up a lot of cards. When she attacks, you draw a card. And then, of course, she still has the same ability. If you hit 20k or above, you draw a card, and all your battle cards get 5k when they're put into play. The first one that you play. We have 4 Intensifying Trunks. So this guy he's nutty. For one, he's a crit attacker that allows us to take a life, so he is our self-awakener. He helps us awaken in the deck, and he's used for one of the most iconic combos in the deck, which is Chain Attack Trunks, which we'll go over him in a few, but he's just very effective for being able to evolve and use him for early pressure and being able to awaken. We run 4 Heroic Duo Bedell. This card is a negate. It's like Master Roshi from Tournament of Power. The difference is she's a little lower in stats, but still the same concept. She costs 1 red, you negate one of your opponent's attack, and she's also 5k combo power. Now, you don't have to really listen to her other effect. It's really not important in this deck. Now, guys, if you want, you can sub this card for up to Unyielding Awakening or After Image Technique. So the reason why I'm showing you these negates is because she is our negate for the deck. So if you want to utilize other negates, you can, especially if you're going up against a mirror match where you know your opponent's going to play cards like Hit. You can use Unyielding Awakening. If you're playing against aggro, especially if your format is more aggro, play Unending Awakening. If your format is more storm-based, because right now, February 1st, obviously, it's going to get hit. For now, if you need to use this against Storm, even better. You can get rid of their Gotens, you can get rid of their Vidells. You could do a lot of things with this type of negate. And it's really not a negate, it just reduces the combat of any attacking card. Additionally, you can use this After Image for free, essentially, if you take a life, as long as you meet the Sparking 5. So again, for this space, you can use this instead of the Vidells. But the reason why I run Bedell is honestly because everybody's pal Yamcha. This card is the main reason why we're using this negate over any others. Auto, when he attacks, you look at to the top 3 of cards of your deck, and you can select an Earthling. What's so great about her is that she's an Earthling. So he essentially can fetch for your negate. Not only that, which is very, very good, but in this deck we can recycle our cards because we're running Chain Attack and Zeno, which I will go over soon enough. What's really good about this card is, unlike Goten, you shuffle your deck. So if, let's say, you got a lot of really good cards off the top 3, you don't have to worry too much because those cards are going to get randomized again, and you don't have to worry about them being stacked in the bottom. Sometimes Goten, unfortunately, provided a crutch because your cards would actually have to stay in the bottom, and there aren't many ways to actually have access to them unless you have a card that shuffles your deck. So he's very, very strong, and he's basically the new Goten in the game. Moving forward, we have 3 Burst Attack Son Gohan. He is great against multiple matchups, especially the matchups that try to hand control you. This deck has a lot of draw power, but it's mainly break evens. So you're constantly filtering through cards quickly, but it's not a huge, huge plus. So Burst Attack, if we're going against any kind of hand control, he can recoup our hand. He has critical, and he is also an Earthling. All the cards I'm going to be previewing right now or showcasing will be Earthlings, which means that Yamcha, your pale Yamcha, can search for them. We run 4 Master Roshi Martial Expert. Now, a lot of people are running Bulmas, but Bulma is a very good card. The only difference is, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy has 15k combat. That's amazing. I can actually play Master Roshi on the board if I need an attacker. He'll go up to 20k with Pan's ability, and now we have a 20k super combo that can actually put in some work if we need to attack with them. Not only that, but I'm also going to feature a few combinations that you could do in the future of this video that you're going to really enjoy. So, for one, Sparking 5 is when you can get his draw effect, but he's still a 10k zero cost card. So even if you don't have 5 cards in your drop zone, you can still use it to guard your life. So it's a little better than Bulma because Bulma requires you to have 4 less life. This you can use as early as whenever you need to. The next card we run is probably the best red card in the game outside of Chain Attack, and that is my girl, Fearless Pan. She's also Earthling, but she's Saiyan. So when she comes into play, she gives all your red battle cards, including Leader, 5k and Double Strike. Not only that, but she's a blocker and barrier. And she's a 15k character. Like, that is amazing. She's just so much value in one card. And honestly, relatively balanced, just a very strong balanced card. Moving forward. 4 Chain Attack Trunks. This is pretty much the heart of the deck. This is what you want to do. You can chain attack so many targets. You can chain attack your Fearless Pans, your Martial Arts Experts, your Burst Attacks. All the cards I previewed, you can chain attack, which is freaking amazing. So you have so many targets, including the Chain Attack Zeno combination. So honestly, what's really good about him is that he can bring in extra battle cards and play. But not only that, he's one of the few cards that can attack battle cards. So don't forget, a lot of people do forget that ability where he could attack active battle cards. Instead of using the Vegeta, which Vegeta is very good, the championship pack one, he's very good, but he's more, in my opinion, a sideboard material card. Because you want to focus more on Earthlings. Like, this deck is so good because Yamcha could just filter and grab so many cards. I kid you not, more than half our deck is Yamcha proof. Meaning that every time you look at your top 3, there's a high percentage you will hit. Now, moving on to the next part of our red package, we run 2 Planet M2. Now, this card is nuts. And the reason why I say that is because we're in a format where 1-drops basically rule the game. You have Burgos, you have cards like Dende, you have cards like our Intensifying Trunks, people trying to awaken with their 1-drops. This kills them off. So during our turn, we can attack, and during battle, we can tap this card and minus 5k to any card, including your opponent's leader. What's so good is that most of these battle cards have 5k. All the little guys have 5k, so you can easily kill them off. And they're gone. So you don't have to worry about Burgos, because this deck actually untaps energy a lot outside of the leader's effect. And we're going to go through that soon. We run 4 Double Shot Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas. He's, to me, a very main staple in this deck. You can guard yourself on the defense, and he becomes a 20k that draws you a card. That's just nuts. You get so much value, and he's just amazing. And then last but not least for our red package, we run 4 Foreseeing Hit. He's broken. Let's be for real. You look at your opponent's hand, you take pretty much anything that's 35k or less, and not only that, you see whether or not you can go for game, which is essential. And if you play him off of Pan's effect, he comes in as a 25k that draws you a card that's Double Strike. So that's just so much power in one card with this leader. Now moving on to our blue package. We run 4 Whis Coercion. Pretty simple. It untaps the energy when we play it. So essentially it's free. And it costs only 1 blue. 4 Sensu Bean, which is going based on the cards that I was telling you previously. This is one of our untapped cards. It only costs 1 blue, and you can untap a free energy and get a 5k buff. Your battle card or your leader card. And we like to use this card defensively. And then the last blue card is why we play this deck. Chain Attack Zeno. Chain Attack into Zeno. If you are facing a threat, a big threat where your opponent is getting a bunch of cards on board, you can reset the game. Not only that, but when you reset the game, Pan, if you play everything right, you can end up with 7 cards. So when you play Chain Attack, if that was your first battle card played, you play in the Zeno. you shuffle up, you do what you have to do, then Pan's Effect triggers, you give him the 5k, you draw your 6th card, and then you attack with your leader if you haven't, which will net you 7 cards. Your opponent is stuck at 5, they still have to deal with your leader's attack, they have to deal with your Zeno's attack, and if you have this in play, they have to deal with you reducing their leader's power by 5, which is super strong because now you're forcing them to waste more combo power that they may not have. So you're more than likely gonna force them to take damage that they don't want to take. And then last but not least, we run the 4-drop Shenron from the starter. This guy is so good. I can see myself playing him in almost every single deck except a deck that's heavy on the overrealm, such as cards like decks like Storm. Every other deck could pretty much abuse this guy. This deck builds a pretty fast discard pile just based on the pace that it goes. So it's very crucial that we can use him to bring back a lot of cards that we have in this deck. This guy, he can bring back all 2 drops. I can bring him back, and if I have Pan's Effect, he gets a 5k. He comes out for 20k and a draw. So you use Shenron's effect, you draw a card, you bring him back, he's 20k, you draw another card because of Pan's Effect, and now you attack and you're already searching more cards. This deck can gain so many cards quickly. It's a very, very powerful deck, and honestly, I was thinking about saving this for my Patreon, but I wanted you guys to get this because I feel like it's something you can use. Essentially, this deck is super powerful. It can beat the format currently. It's one of the top contenders, and it's a sleeper. A lot of people have been using Pan, but they're not abusing Pan. I see a lot of different lists using a lot of cards that don't abuse Yamcha, using a lot of cards that don't abuse the whole point of Chain Attack Zeno. Why not run Bedell? It's just too good. When you can recycle cards so much, it's insane. Like, that's one part about this deck that is so important. You want to be able just to go through your deck and then keep recycling through cards, gaining advantage. There are times I will Chain Attack Zeno my opponent just to put myself in a better game state, even if they didn't have any threats, which is just nutty. So I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. It's one of my babies. It's one of my favorite decks to use. I've been having so much fun with it. I will have some gameplay videos so you guys can be able to utilize it effectively for any events that you may have. But again, I want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to have a lot of regular content, as you can see, and we're going to be putting up the best decks that you can play, period. I don't sugarcoat anything. Thank you guys for all watching my videos. Thank you for being a part of my channel. And as always, this is all about you.